When you've got 100,000 workers in a global pandemic all around the world in 25 different countries, in 100 different offices with 45 different regulations you've got to follow on 20 different platforms all at once, you need to get serious about communications. You need to talk to Bandwidth.
Hello and welcome to Enterprise Connect 2021. It is the marketplace of ideas for enterprise communication and collaboration. I am Father Robert Ballecer, the digital Jesuit, your guide to all the hottest trends in tech from Unified Communications. And speaking of the hottest trends, I have the privilege, the honor of speaking with a return guest. That is Miss Caroline Sutton. She is the Senior Director of Enterprise Marketing at Bandwidth. Caroline, thank you very much for spending time with us.
Thank you for having me, Robert.
Bandwidth is unique in the UC field in that you are an API platform and you're a tier 1 carrier. There are no other vendors who can make that claim. That lets you offer voice and messaging and 911 compliance. What do you want Enterprise Connect attendees to know about Bandwidth?
Well, I'll say different for us this year, and definitely the biggest thing we're going to be saying at Enterprise Connect is that we are a global company now. So up until this point, we were really just doing business in the United States and Canada. So this year is a special year for us. We're really excited to be able to do business globally. We acquired a company, Voxbone, later in the year last year. So this year, we're just thrilled to be one united company, ready to take on those complex use cases around the globe, and to be able to do what we've done so well in the United States for the last few years at a global scale.
Over the past 18 months, the hybrid workplace has become the norm. I think we can safely say that. And it's unlikely that we're going to slide back into that not being the norm. The pandemic shattered the old campus network with a few remote nodes model of enterprise networking. And now any modern solution needs to be able to be as capable at a remote office or at home as it is on premise. What are the questions that you think a prospective client needs to be asking themselves as we move further into the hybrid era?
So that's a great point. It really is a unique time, different than it's ever been before. Remote work has been a part of the workplace for a long time, but this year it's more important than it's ever been. So for customers that we talk to at Bandwidth, being an emergency services provider adds a layer of complication that some have not even begun to really deal with. So that's one of the big things that we encourage everyone to be asking about. How are you going to prepare for a dynamic workforce as far as their emergency and public safety readiness is concerned? And on top of that, we're also in a unique year. So Bombs Act is a regulation that's happening in the States right now. There's actually a deadline in early January around having compliance around dynamic emergency preparedness. So that's right up this alley. So for IT professionals this year, a couple of things they really need to be concerned about. One, how are you handling your remote workforce as it pertains to emergency and public safety preparedness? And two, what are you doing on your soft SIP phones in order to comply with Bombs Act? Those are the biggies.
That has always been a pressing issue, a feature for Bandwidth, which is you do 911 compliance properly. Now, it used to be sort of a fringe thing that people thought, okay, well, maybe I'll think about it later. I only have a couple of nodes that are off campus. I can mostly say that everyone's in the same location. But now with the hybrid office, that's not just important. I mean, it's vital. And it's not just an issue of safety. It's an issue of compliance with a law that has some serious teeth.
It really does. And so many are unaware, and it takes some time to make sure that you're setting up all of your systems properly on the back end. So in some cases, you're buying a UC solution out of the box that's going to be compliant. In others, if you're taking a BYOC fueled solution or maybe exploring direct routing option, it's on you to make sure that you're setting it up appropriately and really protecting your workforce no matter where they're located.
Okay, now let's get down to the brass tacks. Now we understand the issues. We understand the questions that people should be asking themselves as they look at a UC solution. How would you say Bandwidth fills those needs? How does it answer the question? How does it become the solution they should choose?
Yeah, so for enterprises, there's a couple of ways in which we can help them. So for enterprises that are choosing to work with something like a Microsoft Teams out of the box, they may explore a direct routing option. Our Duet for Microsoft Teams is the only solution that is direct to carrier solution for both SIP as well as E911. So it gives you the direct access to our team, our network, our experts, to ensure that you're setting yourself up for success, and you've got the control that you need in this crazy time. So we've just actually expanded our Duet solution to cover RingCentral as well. So if you're one of those enterprises that has, more than one UCaaS of choice, as many of them do, we are now covering 2 of the market leads with our Duet for Microsoft Teams, as well as Duet for RingCentral solution. So many enterprises are choosing that direct routing or BYOC fueled solution, and we're really proud to be in that space.
Let me give you a hypothetical. Let's say I am the IT manager for the hypothetical 5 or 10,000 seat enterprise. I'm looking at a deployment nightmare. I have been pushed into the hybrid office by the pandemic. I've had over the last 18 months to change every single policy and model to try to maintain security while at the same time pushing out connectivity to the edges, to the homes, to the remote office, to the remote nodes. If I need to use Teams and Slack and Zoom and a couple of SaaS apps and basically everything that lets my enterprise run, what can I do to come to Bandwidth and say, help me? What can Bandwidth help me do to roll all of those things into a manageable solution?
So I would say fantastic prospect for Bandwidth. If this is you, come and talk to us. The more complicated your communication situation is, the more we can help with. So what we can do is centralize and decouple your telephony from your core UCaaS, CCaaS app and talk about a BYOC or bring your own carrier solution. This makes it easier for you to manage all of your numbers in one spot, manage your ports. If you've got folks migrating to and from different offices, hybrid workers in some situations, in-office workers in another, it makes it simple for you to manage all of that complex telephony out of one platform at scale around the globe. That's really what Bandwidth does best. And if you have your own in-office apps, things like that, where you need embedded voice or messaging, talk to us as well. That's what Bandwidth is known for. And again, these are problems we can absolutely help you solve.
I've been speaking with Ms. Caroline Sutton. She is the Senior Director of Enterprise Marketing at Bandmate Caroline. Thank you very much for spending time with us. Now, if they wanted to find out more about Bandwidth, more about what you could do to help them untangle their UC solution, where should they go?
They should visit us at bandwidth.com or stop by our booth at Enterprise Connect. We're at booth 2020.
Thank you again. I'm Father Robert Valliser, the Digital Jesuit. Thank you for visiting us at Enterprise Connect 2021.